welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this gorgeous granny stitch spiral. I love it. Tomorrow is the 5th of November and we have a special firework night stitch for you tomorrow. So tonight we have this one in anticipation for firework night, which is this spiral colour explosion. It is not as complicated as it looks. You just need 4 colours of yarn or 4 ends of yarn. You could use 2 colours and alternate it if you prefer, but you will need 4 working ends of yarn. And then just you may find some stitch markers useful. You may will need 4 of these, and then just your hook and scissors and maybe a cup of tea or coffee. So let's get started. Okay, now I have arranged my yarn. You can't see them all, but I've arranged my yarn in kind of an A, B, C, D formations. I've got A, B, C, D. They're in the order that I'm going to use them, just so it makes it easier. And I'm going to start my colour A with a chain 6 and slip stitch into that first chain to make my ring. Okay, and now I'm going to chain 2, which counts as a half double crochet, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet in this ring, a double crochet and a treble crochet. Okay, and now you have the option of either pulling up a nice long loop and dropping that down, or you could just pop a stitch marker on your loop like so. Okay, so we have our colour A with our stitch marker on, and then we want to join colour B into our ring right next to the last stitch, and then you're going to chain 2 and then make a half double crochet. We're going to do exactly the same as we did for our colour A. So half double crochet and then a double crochet and a treble crochet, and then just scooch those around a little, pop your stitch marker on that loop, and then we're ready for colour C. And what I like to do is move the colour that I've just used to the end of my row. So I'd already moved my orange along, so I'm just going to pop my blue there at the end, so I've got them in order of how I've worked. Okay, and so it's time for colour C, and we're going to do exactly the same with colour C. We are going to join our colour into our ring. Should have had that slip knot ready. Anyway, let's join this colour into our ring. And pull that down. Okay, and chain 2, and then do a half double crochet. I'm going to try and work over as many ends as I can for this. So a half double crochet, a double crochet and a treble crochet. So we're just starting all these colours off. Okay, and then I'm going to pop a stitch marker on that loop there, and then I'm going to put that to the end and get my last colour, which is this bright gorgeous pink. Let's put that back a bit. Okay, and just get the slip knot on here, join that into your ring, make sure your ring is the right way around. Okay, so just pop this on here and join that with a slip stitch as before. Now there's lots of yarn going on here, but it should all become a lot easier. The more stitches we do, the easier it will become to deal with all these ends. Okay, so chain 2 and then do a half double crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a treble crochet, and that is your first round finished. So this is round 1 finished. Each colour has 4 stitches. I'll chain 2, half double crochet, and treble crochet. Now I just want to put these ends all at the back, and I'm just going to find the orange, that was my colour A, and I'm just going to pull that ring in a little bit tighter. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop my colour D at the end, move them all along, pop that there, and then hopefully this should not be in a tangle. We should have all of our colours coming off from it really, really nicely. And there we go, no tangle. How about that? Marvellous. So this is our round 1. Now I know I've got a lot of yarn going on in the background. I hope you can still see what I'm doing here. So there's our round 1, and it's time to move on to round 2. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, to save time, I'm not going to keep using my stitch markers. I am going to just pull up a nice long loop. But by all means, if you feel more comfortable in using the stitch markers, then continue to use those. That's absolutely fine. So back to colour A, and you want to do 2 double crochets in the top of the chain 2 on colour B. So your next colour, you're going to do 2 double crochet in the top of that chain. 1 and 2. That was a treble crochet. Let's try that as a double crochet. Okay, there we go. And then you want to do a double crochet into the next stitch, which was your half double crochet. So a double crochet into there, and then 2 double crochet into the next stitch, which was your double crochet, 2 double crochet into there, and a double crochet into the top of the treble crochet, which is where your stitch marker will be coming out from. So a double crochet into the top of that stitch, and then chain 1, and then you want to either pop your stitch marker on or pull up a nice long loop. Okay, we're going to do that exact same stitch pattern on colour B. So for me that's blue, so take that marker off, and on this colour B we are going to do 2 double crochet in the top of that chain 2, that first stitch we did, 2 double crochet in there, double crochet into the next stitch, two double crochet into the next stitch, and a double crochet on top of this last stitch where your marker is, and a chain 1, and then I'm going to pull up a loop, and I'm I'm going to put my yarn down to the other end. For some reason it seems like it's already in a muddle. Let's see. Put this through and pop it to the other end. Okay, so I've just removed my stitch marker from colour C, and I'm going to repeat that stitch pattern from colour C over here, doing 2 stitches and then 1 and then 2 and then 1 double crochets. Okay, so 2 into this one, then 1, then 2, then 1. Okay, and then you're going to repeat that with the last colour onto this colour A here. Okay, and I'll meet you when you've done these last 2 colours. Okay, so here we go. This is what we have so far. Beautiful spiral started now. So what we're going to do for row or round 3 is, as always, back to colour A, and we are going to double crochet into the first double crochet of the next colour. We always go into the next colour. Okay, so we're going to do a double crochet, and then we're going to skip a double crochet, and then into the next stitch we are going to do 2 double crochets, keep that loop out of the way. Oops. So 2 double crochets and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And then we're going to skip the next stitch, and then in the last one we are going to do 1 double crochet. And then pull up that loop and move on to colour B. And so we're going to do exactly the same. I'll remind you of that once more. A double crochet into that first stitch, skip a stitch, and then do 2 double crochet into the next, skip a stitch and do 2 double crochet into the next stitch. No, I told you wrong there, sorry, don't skip a stitch. When you've done those 2, then do another 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Sorry about that, folks. And then skip a stitch and do a double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, pull up a loop, and that's the end of colour B. So move on to colour C, and you're going to do exactly the same stitch pattern for the next 2 colours. Okay, so rewind the video about 2.5 minutes if you need a recap. Okay, and here we go at the end of round 3. Looking good, folks. Look at that. It's like firework night, and that's not until tomorrow. We're just getting in the spirit of firework night with this spirally prettiness. Okay, so round 4. Okay, so round 4 is where we're going to start to square this off and put some corners in. So we are going to make our first corner in the chain 1 space that we made from round 2. So if you look, you've got a chain 1 space here, and then this gap here is where we skipped a stitch. Okay, so it's this one here, not the one to the left. Okay, or if you're left-handed, it will be the one to the left, not the right. So it's this one here with your chain space. So in there we are going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet. Okay, and that will be our corner. see it a bit more when we get a bit further round. Okay, and then we're going to do chain 1. We're going to skip the double crochet here, this one, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet in the next double crochet. 1, 2, chain 1, skip a stitch and do 2 double crochet in the next. And then chain 1 and pull up a loop. And that's that for colour A. So unusually we're not finishing in that last stitch, okay? Okay, so grab colour B and you're going to start with that corner space in this gap here. Okay, this is your chain space here. So we are going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, all in that same chain space. Just watch for your other yarn. They do like to try and get in the way. So okay, and then we are going to find our place in your pattern again. And we're going to chain 1, skip a double crochet, which is this one right next to, and then 2 double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip a stitch and do 2 double crochet in the next stitch. This yellow loop wants to get a look in. Not your turn yet. Okay, so there we go. We're going to leave those last 2 stitches there for next time. So chain 1 and pull up a loop on to colour C, and you're going to do exactly the same thing. In that chain 1 space you are going to do a double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more double crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochet in the next. Pull up a loop, oops, chain 1, pull up a loop, chain 1, pull up a loop. And then you've just got your last colour to do that same stitch pattern with. So I'll leave you to do that last colour and then I'll see you for the next round. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Lovely spiral going on so far. So for round 5, what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first stitch and then we're going to do 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, and then in the chain space, so we're going to skip these 2 stitches. In the chain space we are going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochet. Okay, and then we are going to chain 1, skip 2 double crochet, and then we are going to do 2 double crochet in this chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the 2 double crochet and do 2 more double crochet in the next chain space. And this is what makes it like the granny stitch. We might be doing a different amount, but doing those double crochets in those chain spaces makes it like the granny stitch. You can see here it's like a traditional granny square. Okay, and then chain 1 and pull up a loop, and then it's time for colour B, and you're going to do exactly the same. Skip the first stitch and then do 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, and then in your corner space, so skip these next 2 stitches, in your corner space 3 double crochet. Chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Okay, so there's your corner, and then you're going to chain 1, skip those next 2 stitches, and then do 2 double crochet in the chain space. Chain 1, 2 double crochet in the next chain space. Chain 1 and pull up a loop or pop your stitch marker on. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and then we're over to colour C, and you're going to follow that exact same pattern. So rewind about 3.5 minutes, and then you can follow that round for the next 2 colours. And here we go at the end of round 5. Looking good. So to start round 6, colour A. My yarns have got in a bit of a tangle. I'm not quite sure what I've done, but I'm just going to leave them and not worry about it now until the end. We've only got a couple more rounds to go, so I'm just going to leave them to do their own thing. Okay, so for round 6, we're going to skip 2 double crochets, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet in the chain space. As I said before, we are kind of doing the granny stitch now. Then chain 1 and then do 2 more double crochet in the next chain space, and chain 1, and then in your corner, I said I wasn't going to worry about this, but look, come on. How can I work with that kind of chaos? Okay, so in the corner we're going to do, again as we did before, 3 double crochet. Oops, 3 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 3 this time, and then 3 more double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Oops. 3. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. Oops. Okay, we'll do 2 double crochets if we can, and then chain 1 and pull up a loop. And then we're going to do that with colour B. I'll show you colour B, and then I'll leave you to do the last 2 colours as usual. So we're going to skip the next 2 and do 2 double crochet in that first chain space. Chain 1, 2 double crochet in the next chain space, chain 1. In the corner you're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 3 and 3 more double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, 2 double crochet in the next chain space, chain 1 and pull up a loop, and then you're going to repeat that for the next 2 colours. So rewind about 3 minutes, and then that will remind you how to do the next 2 colours. And here we go at the end of round 6. Now I hope all my messy yarn is not bothering you. I am one of these kind of messy artists. I love to paint, I love to do anything messy, but I then have to have it all cleared up at the end. So this mess doesn't really bother me, but it will have to be all organised and sorted as soon as I've finished. So I hope I'm not giving you too many nightmares with seeing all my mess right now. I know some of you prefer to work in a very clean, organised space, so let's just ignore all that and look at this pretty in the middle. Okay, so round 7, we're just going to finish off this little beauty, and then we have got an optional border round if you want to do it or if you need it for size. So get your colour A again, your loop, and we are going to do a half double crochet in the next chain space. We're going to do a half double crochet and a single crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to do a slip stitch. Oh, sorry, we're going to do a single crochet in the next chain space, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the next double crochet and fasten off. So that's one colour. Okay, that's that orange done with now. For me it's orange. Pull that through, and then we're going to do the same with our next colour. So we're going to do a half double crochet in this chain space, a half double crochet and a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, and then a slip stitch in that next double crochet and fasten off. There we go. I'll talk you through all these colours because it's really not going to take very long. So the next colour, half double crochet in the chain space and a single crochet, chain 1 in the next space, single crochet, and then slip stitch in the double crochet next to it. Fasten off. And the last colour, you are going to do exactly the same. So a half double crochet in that chain space and a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the next space and a slip stitch in that next stitch and fasten off. And there we go. Right, let's get all this yarn out of the way and I'll be back. And here we go. You can see by doing these slip stitches that it's just made our square by stopping those stitches part way. It's just made that more square there. Okay, so I can tell from mine that I do need the border. It's not big enough yet, so you could choose a colour that you've got on here, or you could choose a completely different colour. I was going to do my pink, but I think I'm going to actually do a different colour, so bear with me one moment while I grab some yarn. Okay, so I've grabbed some nice bright green yarn to go with all my bright colours that I've got here, and if I find the end, I will start the round with you. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do a very simple half double crochet border just to finish this round off. If your square is particularly small, you could do a double crochet round, or if it's only a tiny bit too small, you could do a single crochet round. Entirely up to you, whichever stitch you feel you need for size. So I'm going to find the end of this yarn and then I will come back to you. Okay, I found the end of my yarn and I have joined in the corner and I have chained 2 for my first half double crochet, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet and then chain 2 and 2 half double crochets for my corner. Okay, and then we're going to do 1 stitch in every stitch and every chain space along. Okay, so because we're going to be making this closed in and not the granny stitch anymore, I'm going to work over my ends, and then I won't have all those to weave in at the end. So 1 in each stitch and 1 in each chain space. It's as simple as that. And in your corner, don't forget, it's 2 half double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more half double crochet, or it could be a double or a single if you are doing double crochets or single crochets. Okay, so I'm just going to take my time and work along and work over my ends, and then I will see you when I get back around to the beginning. And there we have the finished square. I've done my border, I've sewn in all my ends, and there we have it, our granny stitch swirl. I love it, and it's really appropriate for firework night coming up tomorrow. It just reminds me of these colourful explosions of fireworks, so yeah, love it, love it. And as always, I can't wait to see what colours you've done this in. So I hope you found this useful and helpful, this tutorial. If you have, then please, as always, click that like button and give us a thumbs up, show us some love and appreciation. And I look forward to seeing your squares in the photo album in the group. The link for that is below as well. And until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.